So he parked it at the basement level of the parking structure that's across the street from the high school, at Burbank High School. So we go down and it's parked, and it's in the corner, like in there, it's in the corner, right? And he turns it on, and I'm like, whoa, I've never heard anything like that. That thing sounds dope. And maybe it's because the exhaust was bouncing off the walls and everything like that. But after that, it was like, I remember getting goosebumps, and I was like, oh, dude, I want this car. So I didn't even know how to drive stick, and I bought it. So it was,
that's pretty cool.
Right then and there, I was like, that's it. That's my car. I need to come back in a week because I already promised them I would. So I don't want negative feedback on eBay. So yeah.
Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. Today we have Juan. Juan, thank you so much for taking the time for us, man.
For sure, bro.
So tell us, man, what do you drive?
It's a 91 Nissan Sentra SER. SR20 VE comes standard with the SR20 DE, which is around 140 crank horsepower. Okay. So the SR20 VE comes with 187 crank horsepower. Right now, with all the supporting mods, it's making about 196 to the wheels. Nice. So that's where I'm at right now.
So where did you pick this car up, and how long you had it for?
Long story. Once I graduated high school, I had 2005 10 wagons. Oh, wow. And then, so after 2005 10 wagons, I went to looking for an SR20 swap. I found a place in San Diego called McKinney Motorsports, and their swaps were like $4 or $5 grand. Broke high school kid, no money. I want an SR20. I seen all the videos, and then it's like, no, I gotta find something cheaper. So I sold my 510 wagons, and then in the early days of the interwebs, right? Like, I'm older than you, so this is like the early days, like web TV days of the internet.
Wait, internet didn't exist?
No, it was the days before Al Gore invented it. It didn't exist. So what ended up happening was I started Googling SR20. You know what I mean? That's what I would do, which is what a lot of people don't do anymore. They don't Google anything. But I found an SR20, and it was the wrong way. I was like, why is it sideways? I didn't know, right? So it turns out it was in a G20. That's where I saw it. And then I was like, that's crazy. Like, how is it rear-wheel drive motor? How are they putting it in a front-wheel drive platform? So I kept searching, and then I found what was a SER at that time, and I was like, that's
mind blown.
Like crazy, right? So I keep looking for one, and then so I saw my 510 wagon. I was looking for a G20, and then I found this thing on eBay. And so
this thing by the motor?
No, I found the car. Yeah, I found the car on eBay.
Where was the car located?
It was in Burbank. The shop teacher, the auto shop teacher at Burbank High School had the car. So I bid on it thinking I wasn't going to win because I didn't have the money yet.
Oh, wow.
And so it's one of those things where I bid on it, and it says, reserve not met. And then all of a sudden, like I follow it up 6 days later, and it's like, oh man, there's an hour left. You know what? I'll bid on it one more time. I went up 50 cents, and I said, you are the highest bidder. Yeah, so I won it for like $2,020 and like 50 cents or something like that. And I was like, holy shit, I don't even have the money to buy it. Like, what am I gonna do? So for the next year and a half, 2 years, I worked it off, paying like my grandma and my uncle off. That helped me buy it. But that's how I started. That's how I won the car.
That's a trippy story.
Yeah, it was crazy. Plus, like, when I bought it, I had to go to the guy because it said I needed to pay the deposit or pay it in full to pick it up.
Right.
So I met him after I won it, gave him a promise to come back in a week.
Wow, you honored that.
Yeah, so I gave him $200, came back the following week and gave him the rest of the money.
Tell us a little bit about your latest vision for the car. I mean, you've had it for a long time now, so walk us through all this. I'm sure it didn't always look like this. And you actually tracked the car, which is surprising because it's mint. But
the last like 7-8 years, I've been road racing it quite a little bit more. So my vision for the car. So when I got the car, I decided that at some point I was gonna repaint it. The paint was good, but it wasn't great. Like, I could tell like it had been outside and stuff like that. So I figured one day I was gonna repaint it. One day I was gonna do all this stuff. You know, when you're a kid, you're like, I'm gonna do everything. Then whatever. You realize life is more expensive than cars.
Yeah.
So I started going to the dealership and ordering little stuff. You know, from time to time when I could go and afford something, oh, can I buy this? Can I buy this gasket? Can I buy this? And I figured in the future, I might need these things to rebuild the car and get it back to where I wanted it. So 14 years later, you fast forward, well, 15 now. When I started last year, I decided if I don't do it this year, I'm not gonna do it. So I started getting down even harder on ordering stuff. Anything that I could find new, I bought it.
Oh, okay.
Anything that I can find new, I bought it. So I ended up finding everything new. And plus, besides everything that I had stored for years, I was able to put it all into this. And I figured I'm really heavy into road racing. It's expensive too, so I do it maybe three or four times a year, 5 if I can. But you know, I figured it's still a track car. That's what I do it for. I'm not into, you know, show queens and, you know, trailer queens. Like I don't do that. I like turning the key, going to the track, putting it down, and then driving all the way home.
You can start from the front. What do we got going on?
So from the front, this is all stuff I've purchased. We're talking about, I've had this JDM Sunny kit for like 10, 11 years now. So the front is a full JDM Sunny GTS1 front bumper with the 2 fogs. Those fog lights came off of a car, actually a JDM front end that only had, I would say it said 1,800 kilometers on it. So maybe, 900 miles? It was a nose clip, so I've stored those forever. That's why they look kind of brand new. The headlights are full JDM Sunny GTS. The grille, it has, as you can see, it doesn't say Nissan in the front. That's the actual JDM Sunny badge. The corner lights are brand new JDM OEM corner lights. The front lip, because a lot of people ask me, it's just a junkyard Mazda 626 lip that I put on there just to protect the car, and plus the bumper always sits a little bit high. Coming this way, it has the full JDM Sunny GTS1 side skirts, the GTS1 power folding mirrors, and yeah, they do work.
Don't work.
Here you go.
Nice.
There you go. So they work.
Nice.
And then I have also the matching JDM GTS1 bumper with the OEM lip on the bottom. That's how it is. Also, a lot of things I don't see is I was the first one to have the JDM GTS1 LED wing that goes with the kit. So a lot of people get everything else and they don't realize that that's a LED wing that you get from Japan. So that's the full JDM GTS kit.
How hard was it to source all these parts?
Back in the day, it was a lot easier.
Really?
It was a lot easier, yeah, because there's less people interested in JDM stuff. The JDM craze was still kind of like the Honda thing to do, right? So at that time, it was a little bit easier. There was less people. There were less of these destroyed and gone around the world. I was importing a lot of nose clips at that point with a buddy of mine who ran Password JDM. And then so I was importing a lot of these things, a lot of nose clips. I was selling them out of like my bedroom pretty much for a lot of people that came to buy from me. And so yeah, it was a little bit easier, but the rear bumper was probably the hardest part. And then the LED wing, I found somebody that sold me 2 trunks. I believe I sold another buddy of mine a complete trunk with the wing. So that was the hardest part, just the rear bumper and the wing. But I didn't even know that existed until I saw it. And I was like, hey, that looks a little different. But yeah.
All right, Juan, so tell us a little bit about your front wheel and tire and suspension setup.
So the car is on the only set of custom-made Fortunato 510s for the B13 Sentra, which is also an NX 2000. So that set, it's worked fantastic actually. So I mean, I couldn't do any of this without the guys at Fortunato really. And then so I have it on 15x8 plus 35 bronze TE37s with Nankang NS2R 225 45 15 tires. The front brake setup is a 11.75 fast brakes Willwood kit with the 2-piece rotor. Well, the hub is divorced from the rotor. The rear is also it's actually a brake upgrade from a Infiniti G20 P10 91 through 96 I believe, and both front and back are on G-Lock pads. The fronts are R12s or R10s I believe, and then the rears are R8s for sure. Front and rear I have Progress front sway bar, Progress rear sway bar, white line bushings front and rear. The rear has tubular Turbo FX control arms that are custom made by my buddy out in Arizona. And suspensionals wise, both of them I have a front strut bar in the front, a Cusco strut bar. The rear strut bar is made by my buddy Chuck Olcott over there in Arizona. It's a tri-point brace. It's behind the seat so you can't see it, and it goes into the trunk, so it ties into there. But pretty much everything that you can get, I got. So in the interior, really the only thing that I really did is I try to keep it as original as possible. I just replaced the 2 seats with 2 Recaro buckets with the 5-point holes for the 5-point harness. And yeah, the harnesses are in there. The crotch belt is under the seat. I keep track ready at all times, so
I keep track ready.
So I went with a suede Momo steering wheel. Beautiful. And then I also went to Suede It on Instagram. Those guys do great work. I had them do a custom suede Alcantara suede shift boot and a custom suede Alcantara shift knob cover on that 1-pound shift knob that I have there. I went ahead and I don't need a radio for tracking, so I removed all the stereo equipment, and then I went ahead and put all my AEM gauges in the stereo location. I did still need the cubby hole down there, you see, so I can put my wallet and stuff in there. But other than that, the interior is pretty stock. I went ahead and put an auto power roll cage. I powder coated it black, but yeah, I just kept it as original as possible. I didn't like the whole no back seat roll cage look, so I modified the back seat so I could put it in. It faded as it is, but it's in there, right? And that's pretty much it for the interior. There's not, I have my harness in there. I also have brand new seat belts. This one was actually redone by I forgot the company, Safety Restore. That one on that side is the last brand new passenger seat that Nissan had, and I bought that like 3 or 4 years ago. Wow. So just things to keep it as clean as possible and functional. I didn't want to do like the gauge pods, and I'm not into any of that. I'm just into it, function over form. One thing I did do is, thanks to Chasing J's, I did replace my titanium bolts for the steering wheel. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Alright, the SR that was not vertical.
Yeah, so this is that sideways SR, as I like to call it when I was younger.
Alright, Juan, so tell us, what do we got going on in the engine compartment?
So this is a sideways SR, just like I told you. So actually this is a SR20 VE. Nothing's been done to the block. Everything is, as it comes straight out of the box. But what I did do is upgrade it with the SR16 VE N1 cams. That is pretty much an OEM upgrade to your cam setup. It's a 7DV box, so the transmission is actually from a newer 2000 to 2001. Actually, yeah, 2000 to 2001 2.0 SC Sentra with a limited slip. I found a Nismo differential, actually, which is super hard to find. So that's in that transmission. The header is a Hotshot Gen 6, old school stuff. So I like buying old school stuff that used to be available and putting it in the car. So I found that. Again, thank you, Jay Mashad. Rest in peace. And then, other than that, the Wilson intake manifold, which has been all ported and polished inside. I had a custom air intake made by my buddy Mario at TSR Fabrication. And then just a Jim Wolf pop charger. The car is going to actually go through another overhaul here in the engine bay over the winter. So a lot of things are going to change.
And what does that include?
More than likely coil on plug conversion.
Nice.
And also a lot of things are going to get powder coated. And since I'm going to go coil on plug, then the MAF is going to disappear. So I'll go to MAF. I just don't know what ECU I want to run with. There's Link, there's Haltech, there's Nismotronic. I don't know what I'm going to go with yet, so I haven't decided really. And then, of course, the custom titanium center plug covers by Chasing J's. Thank you to him. Only 11 of those exist. I bought all 11 because they were custom made for me.
You bought all 11?
Yeah. So, so 5 of them I actually am raffled off to help cover funeral costs for my friend Jay who passed away. And then the other 6 were just sold to my friends. So, yeah, so I bought them all. So, Samco hoses from a Nissan Pulsar GTIR RNN 14 with SR20 DET, larger water neck, and that's pretty much it. Very simple. Coil radiator, Blitz radiator cap. My favorite thing, my Nissan sports horns. They're a good upgrade. You can still buy that brand new, but yeah, it's very simple. No, I don't do I like functional. I just can't do over the top to where it's so complicated that I can't enjoy it.
Use it.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I turn the key, I go to the track, and I know I could have done an SR20 DET, SR20 VET, a DE plus T, a VE plus T, but it's just not. I don't need more power.
Right.
I like seat time more than power. You know what I mean? I'm not a straight line guy, so this will go to the track and this will rip. Like this, that was what it was made for, and it's super reliable.
All right, Juan. So tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel.
So my YouTube channel is Blip Shift Apex.
Okay. What can we expect when we see your channel? Which actually it's growing. So that's good.
It's cool. Yeah, it's been. I've had a really positive reception from people in the community, the Sentra community at large. It's really just a bunch of regular guys with regular amounts of money doing regular things. I mean, we put our cars to the test. We go out there, we road race, and we have fun. I mean, we show you there. We have a couple how-tos, you know, especially for the Sentra guys. There's not a lot out there, but for the most part, we just like showing people what a Sentra can do. I mean, it's not just, again, I mean, this looks this way. It's not perfect, as you can see by the rock chip that's right there.
He just found that one.
But it's not perfect, but it does its purpose when it's out there. It's really an enjoyable car, and I feel like people should go out there, take their Sentras and show out, you know what I mean? I did FF Battle for Super Street Magazine this year, and I was the first Sentra to ever do it.
And
I placed in the top 10.
Wow.
But
that's huge.
Yeah, it was really cool because all those Hondas are beasts. They're beasts. Like, no doubt. I have no hate towards Hondas because you guys build hella cars.
Driver mods and everything.
Yeah, hella cars.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was really dope. So
hopefully it inspires more people to
that's exactly my point. Like, I've done all this to inspire people to actually, like, you don't have to be, I'm not saying this is like a whole other level. Like, this is just me over 14-15 years. So people who just started, you don't just jump to this. You know, it takes time. You jump, you know,
that's
as you go.
Problem nowadays.
As your money you know, allows you to do it, as your life allows you to do it, it takes time to get to this level. And a lot of people, because they don't get to a certain level at some point, they give up, and they give up on the Sentra. That's something that I can't do. I love the car. I've always loved the car. I've loved it since I owned it, so I have an appreciation for it. I treat it well. It treats me well. Mm-hmm. So future plans for the car still for me is I'm actually going to be testing a new suspension setup for Fortunato over the winter.
Oh, wow.
So I should have another custom set of Fortunatos probably by next January, February. And then again, like I said, I don't know what ECU I'm going to use for my coil on plug conversion. So I don't know what I'm going to go with yet. I just know, I know me, like I'd rather spend an extra $500-600 for something that's like Link or Haltech. Mm-hmm. That's just how I like to do things. I like to do things once.
Alrighty, Juan. And any shout outs, man?
Shout outs to Jay Michaud again, and his best friend Larry Dillard. Thanks again for giving us the updates on his condition and everything that happened to him. Shout outs to my boys Caesar, Sergio, Robert, AJ, Leo, and everybody else who supported me. Shout outs to my family for letting me have the time to do this when this took time away from my family, and especially also my friends, you know. And shout outs to Fortunato. Thanks for supporting me and pretty much all of the suspension stuff for the car, and all the other vendors that I've bought stuff from, everybody that on the forums and the Facebook pages that I've purchased things from, and over the last 14-15 years, shout out to everybody who's definitely been like there in assisting me in anything I need. I wouldn't be able to do it without a lot of those people. So if I forgot anybody's name, I do apologize. Again, shout outs to everybody who's helped, except for that guy in TG who hasn't given me my parts. So shout out to him.
Shots fired.
But yeah, it's thanks everybody who's loved the car and appreciated the car and just seen it and said, hey, you have a nice car. Thank you to everybody.
Well, Juan, thank you so much, man. It
was nice meeting you, bro.
Pleasure, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Gorgeous car, man. And like I said, I know this car just from a long time ago, but never really paid too much attention to them.
That's good.
And now they're coming up, and I think people are going to start wondering about this car. So.
Well, I hope so. I really do hope so, because our product support is low and there's less clean examples of a Sentra, and I just like to be part of something that the whole community can be proud of as a whole. So yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Anytime. I don't sound too nervous, right?
No, you sound good. I'm just I don't know how the mic works, so I don't know, like.
Front windshield, rear windshield. These are new. This is new. This is new.
grandma status. Grandma's car.
This is new.
Oh,
I was letting you.
My Accord, you know.
Yeah, I was letting.
Like this.
I'm letting you like see where I'm pointing. My bad.
All right.
If I could do it all over again if you want me.
No, you're good.
This is new. This is new. This is new. Every gasket and trim that I have is new.